This tutorial is a second in a series on learning how to use the Good Spirit School Division Student Counselor Contact Tracking Form. In the last episode, we looked at how to create a shortcut on the desktop, and that's what we're now going to use to access the form itself. Now, keep in mind, in my case, I'm using Google Chrome as my browser, as my default browser. So in that case, it shows a Google Chrome icon for my shortcut. If you use Internet Explorer as your primary browser or Firefox, it's going to show that icon instead. So here's the Internet Explorer icon. You might have that rather than the Google Chrome icon. It doesn't matter. Behavior of the form will still be the same. So I'm going to open up that form by double-clicking on my shortcut. I really only have to do that once a day, as you'll see here shortly. Now I'm going to start by entering the student's name. This is a required field, so notice that if I've used that student's name before, it pops up. I'll hit the tab key for the last name and the tab key to go to the school. Now in this case, suppose this student attends the regional. I can hit the Y once, twice to jump to the regional. So I don't have to drop down the menu, although I certainly can choose this drop down and scroll down. But when it's at the end, I'm just too lazy for that. I'm going to hit the tab key again for grade level. And in this case, let's say he's in grade 10. I hit 1 once, twice. He's in grade 10. If I hit it again, I choose grade 11. And once again, I could have done that by choosing from the drop-down menu. The advantage of doing it in the way I've showed you first is that my hands don't have to leave the keyboard. And in that same vein, I'm going to hit the tab key and press enter to continue to the second page of the form. Again, I could have clicked on continue and would have done the same thing. Now there's two sections to the actual contact recording portion here. One is the in-school or in-system contacts, and the other one is the outside agencies. So let's say, for example, that we're dealing with a student, and the student himself we dealt with directly. We had phone contact with the parent, and we followed up with the administration and with the classroom teachers via email. Now there's also this column here for multiple contacts. So if in fact you phoned the parent and then later followed up with an email, you could choose that. It can be a little bit distorting for your data later on, but that option is there for you. Let's say that we also contacted mental health for this student. In that case, that was a phone call. And then we would just click on continue to go to the third and final page. We'd record how much time we spent working with this student and the other contacts related to him. So let's just say that was 45 minutes. And when we could then decide what we're going to do with that student, whether he's going to go on regular caseload and so on. So let's put him on regular caseload in this case. Our case notes, anything you want. And we simply click submit. And that contact has been recorded. So once you get used to the form, you can probably fill it in. Unless you do copious notes, you could manage to fill that form in probably a minute or so. Now, if we want to return to the form for another student, we can click on Go Back to Form. So you can leave this tab open in your browser and just return to it whenever you need to record another student's contact information. Or you can return to the desktop. And in this case, I'll remind you again, if we go down to the taskbar, I apologize, it's off screen, right-click and choose Show the Desktop. There's our shortcut. We can use that as well. Either way will work just fine for opening our contact tracking form. Now let's take a look at what that data looks like once it enters the spreadsheet from the online form. In this case, it filled it in down in this row. Don't be disturbed by that too much, but it date stamps it and time stamps it. Keep in mind that, of course, it can't read our minds. It can only record the date when we filled in the form and the time when we filled in the form. The student's name is here. His school is here. And up here you can see it's starting to tally already the number of contacts for our regional high school students. Over here, it says it was a direct contact. So again, student contacts, in that column, it's already saying we had direct contact with one student, phone contact with one parent, email contact with one administrator, and so on. So it's automatically doing those calculations for us. In the next episode, we are going to take a look at some of the ways that you can analyze data with this contact tracking form.